Alright guys, so let's see what they've been doing under here. This is the top, the feeder, and I popped it already once. Oh yeah. Look at them. This blue thing's going to go away. We're going to use this again for a minute, but look how they built comb all the way up. They like to be in the center because they're trying to keep the hive warm for the winter. So these guys are going to have to let go. Yeah, they're not going to be super happy, but it should be alright. And here they are. We'll smoke them and brush them down a little bit because we're going to be laying pollen patty and sugar right on top of them here. The sugar is dry sugar, just help them through the winter because they've got all these frames pretty much full now of honey or sugar syrup, one of the two. There's probably 8 or 10 full, but they need more food than that. You know, you already get pissed off. Well, this should be interesting to say the least. If Alden was here, he'd probably have some ideas how I'm gonna get all these bees out of here, and they're all up in there trying to eat still. That sugar I showed you was on top, the dry sugar, or the syrup that dried up. But I gotta get these bees out of here because we gotta take this. We're gonna reuse this with the quilt box. I'll show you soon. And here you see I smoked them, so they went back down. All right, so we just added this spacer. This is gonna give them bee space, I guess, for the top, because we're gonna lay newspaper and raw sugar right on top here, and that pollen patty. See, a lot of bees went down. I gotta get the rest of them, and they'll be all right. All right, guys, so now we've got raw sugar right on top of some newspaper. They'll come up here and eat this, supposedly. This is pollen patty. They'll be able to get in there and eat that stuff, too. It's just paper. They eat it off. A bunch of different ideas of how to do this, and this seemed to be one of the easiest ones that people recommended, so still got to figure this situation out. This out there already eating that pollen patty. I just laid it on there. Look at her trying to get in there and get that pollen out. Just extra food for them. They've been storing, you know, since they got here, but we're just trying to make sure they got enough to make it through the winter. And I'll have to open it and add more. Man, we are going to have pissed off bees because I got to get this blue thing out so we can reuse this frame. And they're even fanning. I don't know why this one's fanning right here, but see her? Maybe she's telling them all to come sting me. I don't know. I got my suit on. Well. Alright, we got the blue thing off. A lot of the bees are on here. I smoked them. They went down a bit. So now we got to take this thing back off because we're going to use this frame. I'll show you what we're going to use it for. I should have just bought another one of these frames. I don't know why I'm reusing this thing. I could have just stored it and used it. But anyway, you can see the bees are still over there. Some bees are over here. We got bees all over the place. Oh yeah, they like that pollen patty. Excuse me, pollen patty. Jeez, they're already biting through the paper. They've calmed down a bit, thankfully. Alright guys, so now we're stacking it back together so they can calm down. And I'll finish the quilt box. I'll show you in a minute. So this is that bee space we made. And this is a top cover. They could get out of there, but we're going to put this screen on so they won't go that way. But we are giving them another exit for the winter right here, this little hole. So in case they want a top exit, they'll have one, because sometimes this can get covered with snow and they'd be trapped inside and it's not good for them. So we're trying, the idea with this whole thing is to let the ventilation come through and then up to this quilt box, because what kills the bees in the winter is not really the cold, but the moisture. So we have to put something on top that wicks up all the moisture so they won't die. What'll happen is all the, you know, they keep it 90 degrees, so all that humidity and the moisture they release from their bodies will come up to the top box, and then it will rain back down on them as cold water, and it'll freeze them to death. So you got to get that moisture out of there. If you get the moisture out, they're fine. So I've been told. So that's the next step. And these bees, I think we're just going to leave them alone. I think this evening they'll head back to the hive. I mean, they only got to go right there. I think they'll be all right. So let me show you this real quick. This is the quilt box we're making. We're using that same frame, and we're going to use this burlap. It's like a little hammock to hold up those wood chips. So all we do is staple this in. I got to get my stapler. And then put these chips on top. I'll probably add some more because it doesn't look like that much. And that'll wick up the moisture that comes up to the top of the hive, and it'll keep that water from raining back down on them and freezing the bees. So they've already calmed down, so I can probably take this suit off, I think. I'll show you when it's done. Alright, here we go. We made a little hammock for all these wood chips. Let's see. This is a cool little kit down at Bee Store. These guys are incredibly helpful. But I'm going to add more because I have more of these chips and they're really cheap. And what you do in the spring is just use this stuff. If the mice haven't gotten it, you use it for your smoker fuel. So I'm going to add some more chips. Alright, there we go. Pretty full wood chips. This is going to soak up the moisture, but it's also going to provide a little bit of insulation for the bees in the top to help keep too much air movement. You want air movement, but you don't want to be, freeze them to death, obviously. So I think it goes on top of that screen. So I'm leaving it on, and I'll talk to the bee people and find out, because I can't remember if she said take that one off or leave it on, but for now it won't hurt anything to leave it on, I don't think. It's just that there's a gap and it might allow a little too much air. We'll see. All right, now I took that screen off. That screen it was too much of a gap between here and here, and we got to put the top cover on too. And now usually the bees glue all this stuff down together, but since it's not as active, I think I'm gonna have to put a strap down for the winter so it doesn't blow off, because they're not gonna have time to make propolis, I don't think, and glue everything together like they like it. So I'll probably either put a big rock or maybe even just put a ratchet strap or something. All right, so there it's back together. They got this top entrance or exit now, just in case they need it. They're pretty busy, and they've calmed down. I took my gloves off. I think that's all right. And now I got a mouse guard here, because the mice like to get inside. You know, they don't really hurt the bees, but the problem is they'll make a mess. They'll make a nest in there. They don't really mess with the honey too much, but the problem is, well, one, they'll make a nest and make a big mess in there. But the bees normally would kick them out of there, but when they're not active, they're not moving around enough to go down and run off the mice. So this mice guard stays on all winter to keep the mice from going in there. The mice like to find a warm place, and the bees are keeping it 90 degrees. It's like vacation for the mice. Look, these girls are fanning. I don't know if it's probably because I did the smoke. I'm not sure, but there's pollen coming in. Pretty cool. Didn't leave any pollen left. Alright guys, that's it. I'm going to put this mouse guard on, and I'm going to leave the bees alone so they can keep working and getting ready for the winter. So I hope you guys are having a good Friday. Maybe you'll see somebody out. We'll see. Might be too cold for me. Alright, bye.